Hi guys, and thank you for joining me. Another Rob video here, and as you know, I've just come back from the Lorena McKinnon The Mask and Mirror anniversary tour, which was fab, around parts of Europe and the Mediterranean. And one of the things that I do when I'm out on the road, a few things I like to do when I'm out on the road, is obviously go out, see some of the cities and towns that we're playing, if we've got time. Also enjoy the hotel and enjoy the room service. But when I'm out and about, I like to check 2 or 3 things. 1, I like to find drum shops. 2, I like to find vintage drum shops. 3, I like to find record stores. And when we were in Udine in Italy, I found 4 or 5. The only drag being was that we went out the night before and had a lovely meal, really nice meal, lovely restaurant, sort of a 4 or 5 course Italian meal, fantastic. Next day I got up late because sound check wasn't until 3, so I took my time. I woke up at 11:30 to find a message from Julian, who's a really nice guy that was selling merch. Him and Rachel were selling merch for Lorena on the tour. And he's a record fan, and he'd messaged and said 4 or 5 great record shops in Udine. And I'd already looked them up already, but I thought, well, I probably won't go, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I wake up at 11:30, see that one of the ones he recommends, called Wizard, is open till about 12:15, and then they break for the afternoon to have a sleep and a chill. Then they open up again at 4. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get there because of the sound check and bits and bobs, blah, 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 blah. So I quickly showered, got myself together, got my Google Maps. It was about 8 minutes from the hotel. So I started walking. When I got there, he was lovely. You know, he obviously spoke to me in Italian. I was like, and then he said, oh, you interested to buy? And I said, well, yeah, because I know you're closing at like 12:15. And it's already 12 o'clock or 5 past or whatever it was, you know, by the time I got there. And he said, don't worry, if you're definitely buying, I stay open, you know, or either way, I stay open. And he was really lovely. And like any time I go into a record shop, I'm not sure really what I'm going to buy. So he had a lovely copy of Axis Bold Love, Jimi Hendrix. And he also had some great copies of Low by David Bowie. And I like picking up other copies of that. Some cool Rolling Stones and Beatles Japanese albums, EPs and singles. It was like, ooh, because I love seeing that sort of typeface on the album sleeves and singles. It just looks so cool. And I obviously looked through the jazz section, saw some Art Blakey stuff that I liked and a few other things. And then I saw a few Susie albums, I flicked through the punk thing. And then, anyway, but then I ended up back in the jazz selection. And he came round from the back where he was sort of sat behind his desk, and he said, oh, I've got more jazz albums behind the counter, you know. And back in the day that could mean something else. So I said, what have you got? And he explained that he had an Italian pressings of some Riverside Impulse and Blue Note on 180 gram vinyl that were exclusive and just Italian presses, and they came with a booklet and all this. And I was like, well, tell me about this. And he started showing me, and they were shrink wrapped, and they had the booklet, sure enough, on the back. And then there was a bit of card in between, and then there was the album. And I'll just show you one of the ones that I've got here. This is Charlie Mingus, and it's classic. It's got Better Get It In Your Soul, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, Fables of Phobos. You know, it's all on it. You know, everything, Self-Portrait in 3 Colours is beautiful. Everything about this album is brilliant. I owned it on CD, always wanted it on vinyl. As you can see, 180 gram. It's really good artwork, pretty much reproduction, I would say. The pressings are fantastic. Original sort of labels, the Columbia label, beautiful. And they're very clean. And 180 gram, yes, he says, with his hand, his scale hand. I can measure anything from that. And this booklet, which thankfully doesn't have like Italian and English. It's just Italian, which is brilliant. Even though I don't know what it's saying, I don't care because it's more authentic. I think that's really cool that it does that. And it just goes through some of the other albums, Mingus albums, and just a breakdown of the tracks and a few bits and bobs, just a few facts about the album and stuff. And I just thought, yeah, brilliant. So he kept pulling them out, and he had loads of them. And I was like, why don't you put these out on display, you know? And he was like, you know, they're rare, and if collectors want to come in and ask for them, I think he's quite happy to keep them otherwise. So that's the first one I bought, Mingus. I thought, yeah, brilliant. I mean, they were all there. Maiden Voyage. I could have spent literally, they were 20 euros each. I easily could have spent €400 easily. Then I saw this one, which I haven't taken out the shrink wrap yet. This is Albert Ayler with a very psychedelic cover. And it's him live at the Village Vanguard. Is it 68, 69, something like that, I think. But yeah, great. As I say, I haven't yet taken it out of the shrink wrap, but it's a gatefold. And again, you know, it's very sort of yellow submarine-ish. You get these kind of the booklet full of some lovely pictures. And I've got a bit of soft spot for free jazz. It's not swinging as contemporary as some of the other albums I bought, but you know, I thought that's cool. I'm glad it's not. I want something a bit different, and I have played it, and it is very different. Side one I enjoyed more than side two, but I will give it a listen again. And you know, I'm open. I keep saying to people you should be open-minded. And this is, of course, an on Impulse label. Again, 180 gram vinyl, nice and chunky. It's all good. There's a reflection of me. Hello. So that's a classic. So that was cool. As I say, he kept pulling them out, and there's so many I could have grabbed. But obviously, I knew by Charlie Mingus, or Charles Mingus. I knew that one. I had it on CD for years. Goodbye, Pork by Hat was regular Sunday morning listening with coffee for me for many years in my little bedsit back in the day up from the farmhouse pub in Bath. Then he pulled out Max Roach. These not words. And I thought, I've got to have that. Because again, I had it on CD somewhere, and all my CDs are trash, whether they're in my car and what have you. And yeah, I thought it was about time I had it on vinyl. And what better way than to have it than on this brilliant 180 gram Italian repressing. I thought, yeah, I'll have it. And some more albums there. All of those are stellar. Love them. We Insist is superb. This is, oh, they're all superb. Fantastic. So that's good. Some nice pictures there for some drummy geeks. Not many of him on a kit though, which is a shame. More of him sort of styling out, you know, with cool hats and looking cool. Yeah, not many on the kit. I was hoping there'd be a few more. Just that one really on the back. But anyway, and this is a Riverside repressing. Again, as I say, I played this. There's no pops, no little on the record at all. I know people have commented that my record deck isn't exactly, seeing I'm into records, isn't sort of the most expensive. But hey, do you know what? I can't afford an expensive one. So I'm getting lots of messages. I'm looking at my phone all over the place because there's all different sorts of notifications coming in. Yeah, so that's a classic swinging album. I don't think there's a piano player on this, as I recall. Yeah, no, it's not. It's Book a Little Trumpet, and Book a Little was amazing. George Coleman, tenor sax, superb. Ray Draper on tuba, and Art Davis on bass. And it's just fantastic. On side two, there's a track called Conversation, which is just him doing one of his famous sort of drum solos, like he does the drum also waltzes and all that. And You Stepped Out of a Dream kicks in as like a ballad and then really fast tempo. Anyway, I'm not here to do a review of everything. Check it out. I hate to say the word streaming, but you can always stream it to check it out. And there's also, in that one, I got a booklet of this as well. So yeah, that's kind of cool, of all the other ranges. The last one in that range is Page One, Joe Henderson. Again, I had it on CD. Great record. It's got one of my least favourite jazz tunes of all time, Blue Bossa. Really not a fan of that tune. All the years playing it at the farmhouse. Recorder Maze on this as well. Home Stretch is Swinging Baby. Yeah, it's great. Great record. Again, this is a Blue Note reissue. Here's our booklet. We know what that looks like now. You get some nice shots, and my girlfriend can brush up on her Italian reading this because I don't understand a word of it. So that's all good. And there's the vinyl again, lovely weighty 180 gram Blue Note reissue vinyl. Very, very nice. Pete LaRocca's on drums on this, kind of an unsung Blue Note hero. We obviously talk about, you know, the obvious drummers, Art Blakey and Philly Joe Jones and Max Roach and Melvin Jones and all these cats. Don't often talk about Pete LaRocca, but great drummer on this, really nice. And the other one I bought was more modern. This is a great one. This has got Mark Johnson on bass, Bill Frisell, John Schofield, Peter Erskine. So a stellar band. And it's Mark Johnson's Bass Desires, Second Sight. Kind of, it's an ECM thing, and it looks very ECM with the cover and everything, with the helicopter and bits and bobs. But yeah, great record. That's more modern, obviously, than the other things that I've just shown you. But Peter Erskine's drumming on this is superb, and having the two guitarists work together like that, Bill Frisell and Schofield, is quite a thing, quite a borscht. So yeah, so that was my little purchases when I was away. And as I say, it was a funky little shop. If you ever have a chance to go to Udine, you must go to all the record shops, actually. They would have all have been brilliant, I'm sure. But that one, Wizard, was superb. As I say, anyone who takes the time to say, listen, come over here, I've got some of these. How do you fancy this? Because he could have just left me, I would have bought stuff from the racks, you know, but and he had tubs underneath the racks, typical great record shop. When you pull those out, it's like more and more and more. It's like, And, you know, we get PDs, which are great. And sometimes you want to spend them on food or presents or records. But I had to limit myself because I knew I was coming back and wanting to get a new car and stuff. So I had to be sensible. But, you know, these were great albums. I'm really happy that I bought them. They sound great. If you ever get a chance to get these on eBay, or maybe record shops here have got them and they're not as rare as the guy said, I really don't know. But I just think they're fantastic. And to have the reissues with the covers with all the original artwork, because I don't mind reissues when they haven't got this. You know, Columbia released those CDs with the blue covers with the album sleeve in the middle. I've got a lot of Miles ones like that, but I preferred it when they actually put the CD on the CD, the actual album cover again. So when I bought Nefertiti, it was the proper album cover, you know, his face on it, and it was the whole thing rather than just a little square in the middle. Things like that, you know, it's attention to detail. Really, it's the music that matters, and really not the packaging, I guess. But to me, it's the whole thing. It's like smelling it, reading it, holding it. So when I got back, I sat on the settee, cup of tea, and just fired up the stereo and just sat and listened to them, and it was great. So if you get a chance to find anything like this, I think it's great. To have the original from a record fair would be fantastic. Original pressing for, you know, this is probably something like 80 quid or to over 100 quid. But, you know, do you know what? I'd soon have this kind of quality, but with the reproduction being like that, I think. Probably going to start open up a whole can of worms by saying that. But that's just how I feel. So if you want to stream these, dare I say the word streaming, check these albums out. If you're into your jazz and you're just a music fan, all of these albums are great. The Albert Ayler ones is a little bit special. That's a little bit more niche and specialist. But these others, you know, put them on a long journey or whatever, listen to them, great stuff. So thanks for tuning in, guys. It was another vinyl chat rather than drums or anything, but there'll be some more coming soon. So I'm back from the tour, getting my arse back in gear and getting more of these videos on the go. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want to leave some comments below, please do. And if you've been to that record shop, let me know how you got on. Okay, guys, take care, have a good day, and I'll see you soon.